Greetings, everyone. This is part 2 of Archangel Uriel's channel on the question of recognition of the self. How do you recognize who and what you are? I'm not sure if he quite answered in the way that we might expect in the first video because of this two-part, because quite frankly, I haven't listened to it. I haven't listened to the recording yet as of this recording. So we'll see where he picks up or what new information, because it's kind of a big question. So I'm going to, once again, with my wonderful friend Charna here joining me on Zoom from all the way from Boston. And I'm going to connect with Archangel Uriel and we'll see what he has to say. Hello, hello. This is Archangel Uriel here.
Good
Awaiting
day.
your question that you have, we realize that it is a continuation, but do realize that although we are aware of what we spoke of last time, even though this beautiful vessel is not aware of it, we welcome you to continue with this question. That is actually quite a large question, and that we will do our best. We shall endeavor to answer for you in a way that may be relatable to you. And as always, we would recommend that you take whatever resonates with you on a personal level. And you, of course, may leave out whatever does not resonate with you at this time. And who knows, perhaps at some point it will resonate with you in the future. So we would ask now for you to give the question.
Thank you. Thank you very much for doing this. So this is part 2 of the recognition of self. And how do we recognize who and what we are is the question.
When you view yourself, how do you feel? This is the question we are not asking you to answer at this time. But when you really, really feel within yourself and you think of yourself, your self-image, how do you feel? How does it make you feel when you think about who you are, when you take into account all you have done? But it is more important, how do you feel about the you that has been, who has done the doing? And we would say, when you feel a sense of freedom, a sense of joy, when you feel love for yourself, regardless of any mistakes, regardless of any what you might what many may consider to be sins, either in thought or in action. Yet, how do you feel about yourself? How do you feel about yourself, on the other hand, when you have helped someone, when you have accomplished something positive for yourself, or you have done something positive for another, specifically for the reason of doing that thing for the other, just to help them, for the purpose of helping that person or making that person happy or perhaps helping them out of a situation that you yourself would not have wanted to be in. How do you feel about that part of yourself? Again, we are not asking you to answer this verbally, but feel into it. Which part do you think is your true self? Which part feels expansive within your heart? Which side of you, which part of that makes you feel energized? Well, we may answer that for you in part. Of course, it is the part of yourself that feels loving, positive, forgiving of yourself and others. And often it is more difficult for one to forgive themselves, to let go of something they feel they did not complete, they did not do correctly. But do realize that both sides of this coin of positive feelings and heavy feelings, they are two sides of the same coin. They are both a part of you, but the mistakes themselves are not you. For the true self, if you could but perceive the true self, that is the real you, the greater you, the higher self, as it is often called. That is your true nature. Any negatives, any positives, they are all actions that have been done. And the mistakes, even these mistakes, they are lessons. They are lessons that allow the soul to grow in a way that the soul would not have grown had it not made those mistakes. Is this making sense at this time so far?
A little bit. There's some confusion around that to a degree.
You may ask for clarification.
Okay. I would like a little more clarification because I understand that some of the mistakes we make are lessons that we need to learn. And I think part of it is the question about why do we do that, knowing that oftentimes knowing that it's wrong. And why do we do that? And I think that is what confuses us about knowing who and what we are.
And that is a fair question. And we will say that the
Okay.
true you, the true self, is love. All is love in reality. But you came as a soul, as a fractal. As we said previous, the you, the consciousness that is within your body, is a fractal of your true self. As a drop of water is a fractal of the wave that is crashing in the ocean. And yes, this has not answered your question yet. Why do you make mistakes within this life? Because the 3D existence is a denser plane, so to speak. It is a place of learning where you may evolve, you may make mistakes, and you may grow from them. if you choose to learn from the experience. And that is a big if. And eventually you will. But if you learn from it, then you are making an evolved decision and you learn from it. Whereas if you never made mistakes, there would be no reason to incarnate on this plane, for the mistakes may be rectified, they may be learned from, and one may evolve and bring that experience of that evolution, the energy of that, with you back to source, so that it is one more of a lesson that is learned in a field of infinite possibilities of both positive and negative experience. We are not certain if this is beginning to answer your question.
Part of it is, um, I think that we often seek to understand what we are here for and what we are here to do, and get confused because we don't understand what it is. We don't have the memory of why we were incarnated in this body at this time. Does that
So
make
we would ask you a question. What fills what fills you with excitement? What fills your heart with joy? And
the
yes,
answer
we
to?
are asking you personally, right at this
Okay, for
moment.
me, there are many things that bring me joy. Many of them are helping other people. Many of them are what I do with others, both individually and in groups. And sometimes it's just the things I do for myself, my hobbies, my interests. Um, and the struggle is oftentimes, am I going in the right direction? Am I doing what I should be doing and need to be doing in order to be my higher self, to get there, to continue the evolution and raise my vibration?
And we
And
would say, when you do those things that bring you joy, that bring you enthusiasm, and that create fulfillment, that you are doing them, that you feel that you are living your purpose, then in a way that is your barometer, is it not?
yes, it is. I guess the question is, though, is there something more that I should be doing? And I think that that's something many of us ask ourselves.
Yes, and we would first say that finding one's true self is not always about opening a spiritual business, or it can be, it can be if that is your passion. There are there are those who are living their spiritual journey that they came here to accomplish as a janitor. For there are those who find great satisfaction and joy, and yes, even positive interaction and helping others along the way. You may not believe so, but there are those who do so in all positions of life.
I do believe
Whatever
that.
feels, yes, you may go ahead.
sorry, I was going to say, I do feel that. I do feel that there are people that do things that other people look down upon, but they get much joy out of it because it's not only what they're doing physically, but the way they're interacting with the people around them.
Yes, yes, it is not a one position is higher, therefore better. Does this make sense?
Yes, absolutely.
For all souls come from the same source, and all souls have their free will, their freedom of choice, and each has its own unique stamp, so to speak, and each has a different life purpose. However, we'll take this example of the janitor who is much fulfilled doing his work. Yes, this may be a passion for this individual, and he is therefore living his true purpose, and he is therefore living and connected to his true self, his higher self, for we do not know. He may have come in with the express purpose of connecting with people in the way that he does in that profession or in that position in his life. Does this make sense?
Absolutely. Yes, thank you.
And you, or we would say you, a general you, meaning whoever is listening, there is a reason that you feel passionate about about each of your own pursuits, we would say. And if one says, I have no passions, no feeling of enthusiasm for anything, I just work and I eat and sleep and maybe watch TV, and that is it. But to really look into what is your true self and how to recognize that. It is impossible to have lived a life, or we say virtually impossible to have lived an entire lifetime without having had some kind of enthusiasm at some point in that life. And often those enthusiastic moments or those objects or pursuits that brings one the greatest joy or has brought one the greatest joy at some point. Often those are markers. And while each and every pursuit that brings one joy may not be one's entire life purpose, they may help you to discover when you look within yourself, what is it that really fulfills me, fills my soul, when in fact you are the soul. But we say, whatever fills you is closer to the true self that you are. Even, even we'll use another example, an office worker who cannot stand his office job, yet he does it because he is well paid. It is secure enough for him to live a life, to provide for his family, to send his children to college if they choose to. He may say, my favorite pastime is walking within in the forest or in the woods or in the park that has a green area within it where I can get away and either be by myself or take my children, my wife, and just feel nature. One need not just leave all of that behind to fulfill what most people would judge a pipe dream. But what is one learning from that experience that brings you joy? And how can you recreate that feeling and apply that feeling in an environment that is different from that place so that you may begin to embody the energy that you feel when you are feeling free, when you feel the joy of the changing leaves of the different seasons, or just seeing a squirrel climbing up the tree and feeling a temporary connection with that being, then you are feeling a part of your true self. For your true self is joy, it is love at its highest levels, should we say. Is this making sense?
Yes, it is. Thank you. What's,
Again, yes,
sorry, no, I didn't mean to interrupt.
you may ask.
No, I was just saying, thinking that this puts it into a slightly different perspective. And it really is about joy and love.
Yes, and some souls have come in for the purpose of working, perhaps, or the option, shall we say, to work in a certain field or a certain position. This does not mean that you do not have free will, for there are many possible paths that one may follow, that one may choose to take within an incarnation. There is a general plan before you come in, but that plan can be subject to alterations if you so choose. Does this make sense?
Yes.
There is no doomed to be in a certain way. There may be certain experiences that you will, through the choice that you made beforehand, experience regardless. But there are many other points where you can make a decision as you would in an energetic fork in the road, and it is your free will that will determine which tine in the fork of the road that you may choose to take. Now, why can't you remember when you come in? Of course, there are some that remember instinctively. That is why you see small children, very small, who have never learned music, and they can play with expert skill in music, or they can sing, or they can dance, or they can do whatever, and it is so easy for them. And many think, or many believe that this is a strange anomaly, that this is very mysterious, but it is not mysterious if you realize that this individual, for them, it is not their first go round, so to speak. They have done these things. And in fact, we would say that there are no true past lives or future lives. That is a term that is used to make the concept easy to digest in a realm in which there is chronological order, that there is time, but do realize that time passes differently in different realms. So, in fact, those past lives in which this child has been a maestro, so to speak, is actually happening simultaneously. But it may appear to your consciousness while it is on the earth that it is something that they inherited from their past life or one of their past lives. They are living, they are picking up on that, and they are embodying that naturally, unless, of course, it is shamed out of them at a young age, and even that may not change their passion. However, when it is something positive, it is beneficial to encourage that child to continue to develop that in this lifetime of theirs. For often, when denied the opportunity to continue to expand on their rediscovered, as we would say for the 3D crowd, passion, their rediscovered passion, when that is denied, well, we can point out examples in life in various fields where one may be forced into something that they do not want to do, where it is more of the parent's will that the child follow such a path, and the child is discouraged from pursuing that passion within that burns within them. And sadly, quite often, sometime in adulthood, if it is denied, the inability to follow up on and embody that passion often leads to less than desirable results within that individual's lifetime. Does this make sense?
Absolutely. Absolutely.
We do not, of course, condone or recommend that anyone just drop their life, drop their profession, and simply walk away because it does not resonate with their inner passion. What we do tell you, or we do share with you, is that you may be living your passion while doing a profession or being involved in a profession that you don't necessarily feel passionate about, but it pays the bills, so to speak. And yet, if you have time to pursue your true passion, and perhaps if you have that opportunity, for example, if you felt that you would like to be a healer of some sort or other pursuit that often may not be considered what we would say acceptable in some circles. But nevertheless, your aim is to do good by others while still providing for yourself. And in this case, we are speaking directly to you, Charna. Then you are answering your own question that this This is a part of who you are. This is a strong, strong indication of your higher purpose in this lifetime, even if it did not come to you in childhood, even if it did not come to you until a certain age. That matters not. What matters is that you are pursuing your passion, or the passion is a marker on what is something to strive towards. Well, we would correct ourselves that you need not really strive, for striving in a way means struggle. And if you are following that which is your true purpose, and you ask within yourself, your higher self, for guidance, and often the guidance that your higher self will provide for you will come in the form of other incarnate people who come into your life, or information that comes to you in various ways. They could be, you see something on the internet that resonates with you. That is also a part of your higher self and your angelic guides steering you towards this information that is out there. Does this make sense?
It does. Thank you very much. That gives me a much greater understanding. And it's my hope that by sharing that with others, that they'll have similar understandings.
We realize that this is, of course, a very large question. And it is both simple and both very, very complex. There are many moving parts, so to speak. But we hope that this small amount that we have attempted to communicate resonates with some. If you feel that you do not, and we say you as a general, you feel that there is not anything that I am passionate about, I feel apathetic to everything, that there is no hope. Do realize that there is more within you. There is greater strength within you, for you came here with a purpose, and your higher self knows this purpose. And though it may be difficult to reconcile the fact that you have a higher self, you would not be here, you would not exist without your higher self, for you are, as we have said, you are a fractal of the fullness of who and what you truly are. And we will return to the metaphor of the crashing wave in the ocean along the shoreline, and as the wave crashes, one of the drops that separates from the wave as it crashes, that can be likened to the consciousness, to the fractal of consciousness that has separated, and not even truly separated, but we say this for clarity, that separated to inhabit this body that has become your identity in this particular incarnation. And yet the wave itself is but a part of this, a vast ocean of consciousness, and this sea of consciousness, which is even greater than the oceans, is of course the creative force. And as the drop of water then falls and returns into the wave, and the wave itself re-emerges, we would say, back into the ocean. This is destiny. And each life, it is a lesson, but it is not a school lesson. It is not a lesson that brings it is not a lesson that creates hell, we would say. Everything is but a reflection of your consciousness. You are more powerful than you realize. For each and every moment of every day, you are indeed manifesting your experience, even if you feel you are not, even if you are not consciously doing so. Your true self, you have the power to change that anytime you choose. And it is, and we would say this, it is important to recognize the reality of something without physical evidence before your eyes or within your hands. For all reality began as an idea, as thoughts, for them to become manifest into the much denser 3D reality. The three-dimensional reality is the slowest vibratory sphere, so to speak. All that you see, all that you touch, all that you taste and smell and feel once began as non-physical ideas within consciousness. So do know that if you feel that you are much, much separated from your passion, from what makes you feel alive, from what makes you feel connected, even if you are not currently in the company of other physical humans, know that you are never truly separated. Even the drop of water from the wave is not truly separated, for it falls and reemerges back into the ocean, of which it is an integral part of. Feel within your heart that which makes you feel fulfilled, feel passionate, feel loved, even if you feel that there is no earthly or physical evidence of it. You need only feel into your heart. It costs no money to do so, and it only requires a bit of time. It should not require effort, for efforting, of course, creates tension. So feel into that which gives you joy, even if it was only recalling those good feelings that you have had in your life or those good feelings that you may have imparted to others through your actions or even through a kind word or a smile that you may have given another in passing. That is a reflection, that is an aspect of the true self that is within you, that is around you, above you, below you, and of which you are an integral, forever connected part. Be blessed, dear ones.
Thank you so much. So grateful and thankful for everything that you've said, which has answered a lot of questions for me and hopefully answers them for others as well.
How to hydrate a bit. So that was Archangel Uriel.
Yeah, that was amazing. I didn't expect, I didn't know what to expect. It was a wonderful communication.
Oh. I'm happy that, it's an honor for me to be able to, for these beings to speak through me, through this filter that is me,
Mm-hmm.
yeah. Well, I think that is enough for this particular video. I hope that all of you out there, both of us, all of us, we would say, hope that all of you have gotten at least haven't given something that you can at least take away from this that may be able to help you. And I do believe that Uriel mentioned that take that which resonates with you and you can leave the rest. And maybe at some point, something else may be recalled in some way that may then resonate with you at another time. So be blessed, everyone, and take care and have a wonderful day.